I said, I'm going to walk from our house in Auburn to the state capitol, which was exactly 56 miles. It's all about money. It's all about money. I mean, this is my belief with the Cancer Society, with the MS Society. I mean, think about it. They're billion-dollar companies, and if something inexpensive comes in and all of a sudden wipes millions of dollars of revenue from their CEOs and, from their companies, and the drug companies aren't going to fund them anymore, it's not profitable for them.
Where did I put my keys? If you're in your early 40s, you think you're a little bit young for that. And you look around and other people aren't like this. What's wrong with me?
One of these agents that no one can really make billions of dollars on.
It's definitely a patient-driven cause.
Not a lot of money incentive here, and there's not a lot of ego incentive. It seems like there's just people wanting to help people.
So I think we're really on the cusp of not only having verified published results for the effects of LDN, but I think that the LDN research, it's obvious from what everyone is saying in these abstracts that it is going to lead to a strong, possibly the conclusive evidence of what is the cause of MS.
It is not a placebo. It is not something that's a Smartie or a spoonful of sugar. This is a drug which has a definite chemical effect in the brain, and I think that's proven.
There was a lot of people really annoyed with the MS Society for not supporting this, and they keep saying publicly, oh, we'd like more trials in LDN. You give them one to fund for 50K. It's really not a lot of money in research terms. It's not $500,000 or something, 50,000, no.
Kind of going back to some of the things that were happening, and the clarity was so clear, it was so vivid. And I mean, I was unstoppable. I was absolutely unstoppable. And I thought, you know what, more people need to know about this drug. I mean, it was beyond me why doctors turned, when we would go and talk to them about it, why they would just dismiss it.
It is proven that the endorphin levels are tripled, the T-cell mechanism is altered beneficially. That's not up for discussion anymore. I think that is a definite scientific fact.
Why would they want to invest in something that there's no profit, nobody's going to make any money off of? Why would they want to do something that's going to help us and keep our best interest forward? I mean, why would they want to do that? They get to go home, they get to go home to their families, they have their jobs. They haven't lost their dignity of life, they haven't lost their dignity of not being able to go into the workforce. They don't have to have their husbands feed them, they don't have to wear diapers, they don't have to do anything that we have to go through.
Then I've heard of medical doctors being harassed by their state medical boards because they're not doing standard treatment.
And I think that lack of money, the lack of greed, everyone here at the conference, they're paying for themselves to come. They're putting their own time out there. There's no drug company behind us that's promoting it.
Nothing is easy about this, but the prize at the end of it will hopefully be, an addition to the already, increasing number of studies that say what we are finding clinically and what you may be finding personally is real. Something's going on, something really good's going on, and we have a drug here which is cheap, it's orally delivered, and it's, it should be very, very widespread.
My husband and I have put a lot of money into it because we thought it would be easy to get money for it. We have gotten $130,000, but we've also paid $130,000 because a lot of people are not interested, the pharmaceutical companies are not at all interested in a cheap generic drug that they can't make money in. And we applied to the NIH, the CDC, all of them. They say only pharmaceutical companies can afford to do studies. They cost $4 million to take 4,000 subjects, and so we have to do it someplace else.
GOV and start researching some of the drugs that the doctors prescribe to them and see how long the studies were. I can guarantee you they would not be taking half the drugs.
The statistician tells me we need 120 people in the study, which is a lot. And as a GP with 6 patients, I'm going to struggle to get 120. But, that's what we've got to go on, because if we can show that the frequency of urine, frequency of going to the toilet goes down from 10 times a day to 7 times a day, that will give us statistical significance, and it makes the study work. So it's 120 or nothing, and it's going to be a double-blind, randomized, controlled trial. It has to be, because anything other than that will just get laughed out of court.
Bill Gates was a prime example. Donald Trump was a prime example. Governor Schwarzenegger was a prime example. I sent them stuff. I sent information to our Health and Human Services at Sacramento. I get the same thing, that you need to contact the MS Society. The MS Society isn't going to touch it. It's not profitable. They don't care. They don't want to help us. I couldn't make the insurance company see that I was really saving them a lot of money. So I just finished watching Sicko, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to write Michael Moore, because I like the part where he said our government doesn't fear us.
If any of you folks are paranoid about big business, big pharma pushing this stuff, don't be, because it's the truth.
I told her I would sign something. I said, I'll cut my arm off before I let any of my family members sue you. When you have no light at the end of the tunnel, and you basically give up on life, it's a horrible, horrible place to be.
Doctors are, you know, we are like children. We need comfort. We need support. We need that support blanket of science. If you got that, and people say, I've got, you feel quite comfortable, and you think, oh well, maybe I can do this. You know, you get some people who are a bit maverick like me that will just say, I don't fancy doing it anyway. But most doctors are normal, and they like to have science, and they like to have the comfort of that, and that's their security blanket. So we've got to give them that security.
This is a patient-driven drug. The only way it's going to get out there is for you obnoxious people to go to your doctors and say, I don't want Tysabri, okay? I don't want Copaxone, I don't want Avonex, I want LDN.
My old neurologist, I remember him when I went in to see him one time, and he was giving me, I'd asked him about Avonex, and I asked him if he knew what the ingredients of Avonex were, and he said no, he didn't know what the ingredients were. And I said, are you aware that there's hamsters' ovaries in one of the ingredients of Avonex? And he said no, and I go, would you want to take that? And he goes, well, no, but that's not the point. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not the point? You don't think twice about giving it to me or other patients that are suffering from MS. You know, we'd be motivated. Oh my gosh, think of what we could do if we were all healthy. This world, our world would be in such a better place. I think we should pull a Michael Moore. I think we should make him fear us. I think we should do something to bring their attention.
Have said to me that, you know, who have had the benefit of LDN, that in the future neurologists will be maybe legally taken on because they didn't offer it to them.